Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we are checking out Medusa in Summoner Showdown because she pretty much seems to be go-to champion for everybody. And also this is the show up difficulty because I wasn't feeling too well yesterday and I didn't even really mess about with this fight, and this morning I just kind of like did it a couple times on my way to work, and this was one of them. It's not a perfect fight by any means, but the purpose of this video is not just to kind of like showcase the solo, but also to like kind of discuss the best options and kind of like fight tips and tricks, so on and so forth. And first things first is if you don't have Suicide Masteries, you are screwed 100% because Medusa wears them perfectly. With the willpower heal you're getting from them armor buffs, you basically get heal and you only throw level 3s pretty much in the fight. So yeah, Suicide Masteries are a must, which is a bummer, which is very, I don't know, not cool. I was hoping that the best champions for this challenge would be champions that simply cannot tackle Suicide Masteries, and in a million HP long fight you would have no option of using these Suicide Masteries. But I digress. Suicide Masteries are a must, and therefore I generally think it's a bit of a fail from Kabam part. But hey, another thing obviously is that Medusa seems currently as the go-to option. I have heard that Sasquatch might be a good thing, but I don't have a ranked up Sasquatch and I don't think I want to rank him up. As far as it goes for actually giving it a proper go, I'll probably do a stream on weekend where I set up a full-on offensive mastery setup, which is another extremely important thing. Even though I do have Suicide Masteries active here, that is by far not the optimal setup. What you want is you want max recoil, because you'll be throwing a lot of special 3s, so why not get all that extra damage in. You want max glass cannon, possibly max greater strength, and a lot of stuff like that. So you have to like really tune your offensive setup. For instance, deep wounds are kind of useless in this fight because again your bleeds are not duration based. They stick as long as the armor shatters on, so deep wounds are not necessary. Despair is not necessary. Assassins is super important. Courage probably as well, but yeah, you will have to use kind of like really offensive mastery setup, so you do need like retune your masteries kind of like perfectly, and you must have pretty much most of the offensive masteries available. As far as the fight itself goes, with Medusa it's really not that tricky. That rich get richer for most part really does help you to get your special 3s quicker. You don't have to worry about that cold snap because Silver Surfer is going to be permanently under armor break or armor shatter or both, and that is pretty much how the fight goes. As we can see, the vital parts of the fight itself would be being able to wait level 1 consistently. I think I will slip up at some point in this fight as well. I think I will lose my stacked up bleeds once. And again, this isn't like a perfect fight. It was just me meddling about with it in the morning. But another thing is quite clear here. It is also going to be somewhat RNG dependent who gets to qualify, because the strength of Medusa's bleed that she puts on is dependent on how many Furies you have at a time. And you do place these bleeds when you crit, right? So the way this is going to work is effectively two people who play perfectly exactly the same input per input, interaction per interaction, will hang in the balance of when you crit. Because if you place more of these 30 permanent bleeds on Silver Surfer, when you have no Fury buffs, your damage over time will be significantly lower. And when you place these permanent bleeds on Silver Surfer, when you have all Fury buffs active, your obviously damage over time will be significantly higher. And then the one kind of like main criteria where I already failed, we saw that my permanent bleeds fell off once. Yeah, that is going to be in the name of the game. Keep up your armor shatter for entire fight if you want to have a chance to qualify. and basically as soon as you lose that armor shatter, then you can just quit and restart the fight, because there will be a better time than that. Other than that, what else I can say about Summoner Showdown as the fight is going on? I think Kabam missed a trick by not picking 3 stars and tuning the difficulty to 3 stars, because 3 stars are wildly more available, and also 3 stars are wildly easier to rank up. When you need to rank up 4 stars, you still need to invest 3 tier 4 class catalysts and 8 tier 4 basics, and if you're not sure which is the best champion, which is the go-to champion here, then it can get costly if you're going to rank up 2 champions per week for each of these 3 kind of like difficulties to kind of like have and give it a best go. There's going to be like 16, 32, 48 tier 4 basic catalysts. And I don't think it's encouraging and inclusive, because tier 4 basic catalysts are still relatively valuable in the game. They always seem to be kind of like on the shortage end. And overall, I think this event would have been much more inclusive to every single player if Kabam had selected 3 stars instead of 4 stars. Because now actually having to rank up the right champs could be quite tricky. So now there I got tagged by the level 2, but luckily I somehow survived. But yeah, the fight itself is not too hard. Once you get comfortable awaiting that Silver Surfer's level 2, and that is kind of like the one that I personally recommend to bait out, because obviously level 2 uses 2 power bars, so it's less baiting special attacks, and also it doesn't trigger the power cosmic, and he just doesn't get buffs. Speaking of power cosmic, obviously ideally you want him to try and trigger armor up, because then nothing happens and he's left without a single buff, and you're going to gain all that power gain from Rich Get Richer. And the main thing is kind of like not to let it get out of hand and let him start getting these extra buffs from level 2 unblockables and from level 1. That other weird buff that he has kind of fell out of my mind for a second, what the name of the buff is. But speaking of show up difficulty itself, which is what I am doing here right now, I would definitely say that, again, when you look at it, effort versus rewards kind of like perspective, I don't think it was well thought out. Because people who really need 3,000 4-star shots are not likely to have that right champion maxed, or maybe the skill level required. Definitely most people, vast majority of the people, will not consider this worthwhile reward for an effort. So obviously I don't want to always be the one who screams for more rewards, and they not necessarily had to include more rewards. What they could have done is just added either half a health ball to the Silver Surfer, or they could have perhaps let people use their 5 stars in order to kind of like practice, and thus get the shards quite a bit easier, and it would be kind of like fun, neat little challenge. Now, when it comes to anyone who is not taking this challenge seriously, when it comes to anybody who might not be able to qualify for Showdown and therefore will not kind of like really like to push it, well, I just doubt most people will want to get through this, or will be able to get through this, or will find worth it to get through this. As an event itself, I obviously like it a lot, but I think that show up difficulty definitely kind of falls short in engaging player base, because it is what it is, and I hate that saying. But the fight here is nearly over. As I said, I will do a full live stream trying to kind of like set some good times. I will put on like what in my mind is the perfect mastery setup, and we're going to dedicate some time to actually trying to blitz through it. But I think that is pretty much it for today's video. Not much I had left to say. So First and foremost, if you did enjoy the video, then please hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that share button, show the video to your mates and all that. And second of all, leave a comment. Perhaps you have some other great champion suggestions who can take this fight quickly within competitive manner. But yeah, and drop your feedback of the event as well. I want to know what everybody else is thinking. Other than that, this is it, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.